Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Waiting for everybody to get seated. Thank you for coming. I'm Janet Rogalski. I'm honored to be with Andy Pelletier and Bob Ray. And we'll begin tonight with our opening song, which is Shalom Aleichem, and you'll find that on page 142.
Sharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Borechem leShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni leShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem leShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
I'd like to invite Glenda and Larry Schwartz to kindle the lights of Shabbat, which you'll find on page 120 and 121.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who hold them, so may it be in our lives to give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu l'chad l'shmer Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to light the lights of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik shel Shabbat.
Thank you. On page 124, we read together at the top, "We enter this sanctuary to welcome Shabbat. Within these walls, we sit surrounded by numberless generations. Our ancestors built the synagogue as a visible sign of God's presence in their midst. Throughout our long history and our endless wandering, it has endured, a beacon of truth, love, and justice for all humanity. Its presence guided our ancestors to lives of righteousness, holding up to them a vision of their truest selves. Now we, in our turn, come into this sanctuary to affirm the sacredness of our lives. May we enter this place in peace. May holiness wrap around us as we cross its threshold. Weariness, doubt, the flaws within our human hearts, the harshness of the weak, let these drop away at the door. In the brightness of Shabbat, let peace settle upon us as we lift our hearts in prayer." Lachad Odi is on page 138.
Shamor v'zakor b'dibur echad, Hishme'anu el ha'mayuchad, Adonai echad u'shmo echad, L'shem u'tiferet v'litzilah, Likrat Shabbat lechuvanecha, Ki mekol habracha, Merosh mekedem nesucha, Sof ma'azeh b'machshavat tchila, Yitoridi, Ki varech chum yodi, Uri shir daveri, Kevod Adonai alayig nikla, Boi v'shalom hateret bala, Gam b'simcha uv'tzola, Toch emuneham segula, Boi chala, Boi chala, Lechad odi lekrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nikabela, Lechad odi likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nikabela.
You'll find the Chatzi Kaddish on page 144.
Yitkadal v'yitkadash Shemer Haba, Bi'alma divorach yedute v'hamlich machute, B'chayechon u'v'yomechon, u'v'chayete kol bet Yisrael, B'hagala, B'hagala, U'v'zman kariv, v'himeru, Amen. Yesh merava mevorach, le'olam hulal mehamaya, יתברך וישתבח, ויצבח ויצרומם ויתנשן, ויתעטר ויתעלה ויתעלל, שמי קודשה בריחו. לעילא מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעלמא, ויאמרו אמן.
Please rise for the Baruch Hu.
Baruch Hu et Adonai, HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai, HaMevorach, Le'olam Vaed.
On page 148, we read together, "Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opening the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly course according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzvaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai, Hamariv Aravim."
Avat olam, Bet Yisrael, Amech ahavta, Amech ahavta. Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta, otanu limadeta. Al ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shachvenu uv'kumenu nasiach b'chulkecha v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד, כי הם חיינו לאורך ימינו, ובהם נגע יומם ולילה, נגע יומם ולילה.
on the bottom of page 151. Torah is what God has revealed to us and what we discern of God. Ideas and ideals, laws, mitzvot, our religious heritage. It unfolds our memories of Abraham and Sarah, of Moses and Miriam and the prophets. It is legislation and explanation, allowing questions that challenge, answers that inspire, all a quest for meaning. It is our way of life, a path for our souls, and the design for a better world.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
Please be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך. ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך. וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
We read together, "You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments and to be holy to your God. I am Adonai, your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai, your God. Adonai Elohim Emet." On page 158, Mi Chamocha.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע הים לפני משה ומרים. זה לי אנו ועמנו. ימלוך לעולם ועד. אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר כי פד אדוני את יעקב וגואלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני גל ישראל.
We read together, sing the song of men and women joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come. The song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more. The song of a world redeemed, the song of peace. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, hapurei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, va'al Yerushalayim.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם לעולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם, לדורותם ברית עולם.
Please rise for the tefillah.
Adonai, Safatai Tiftachu fi agi tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel v'Lea, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומר חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומשיח ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע. מחכה חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך מר גבורות, ומדור מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Baruch atah Adonai, El HaKadosh. Please be seated.
Ritzeh Adonai Eloheinu be'amecha Yisrael u'tefilatam Tamid avodat Yisrael Hamecha. Shevach rochacha alenu v'techezena enenu v'shuv echal Tzion.
Find favor, Adonai, our God, with your people Israel, and accept their prayer in love. May the worship of your people Israel always be acceptable. God, who is near to all, who call, turn lovingly to your servants. Pour out your Spirit upon us. We read together on page 177. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha ne'eh lechodot.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Hamecha Tasim Leolam Ki Atah Melech Adon lechol hashalom v'tov b'necha v'tov b'necha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol et ubechol shah bishlomecha.
Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamvarech et amo Yisrael, Shalom. We've come to the point in our service where we ask for God's blessing on all of those who need healing in mind or body or spirit, whether in our congregation, in our community, or the world. If you have a name that you'd like to share, please do so now.
Dave Saltzman, Kinsey Pigman.
Steve Ulrich. To those we would add Larry Robbins, Robert Pocott, Eloise Rapino, Cynthia Bramson, and Joel Leviton. You'll find the prayer for healing, the Misha Berach, on page 371.
us of strength, who bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Yishemerach imotenu, mechor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We take a moment for silent reflection.
Imre fivi hegion libi, Adonai tzuri vegoli, Adonai tzuri vegoli. Amen.
There it was. It just jumped off the page. I was trying to get through my very large stack of daily New York Times, which is a large stack, and in section A of the day's paper that I was reading, an ad for a funky jewelry store, the poor cat just jumped off the page. I really like interesting jewelry. That will not be a surprise to any of you who know me well. But this was an ad for a necklace that really caught my attention. The necklace I saw was a beaded chain with a disc that had the phrase, "Inhale the future, exhale the past." Wow. Here it is, the last Shabbat of 2022, and I saw a necklace with that statement. We Jews have both a religious and a secular opportunity to do just that. Yom Kippur, our religious opportunity, ends the 10-day period where we have spent time reflecting on the past, trying to right wrongs, and hoping for a popular and positive year ahead. We ask forgiveness to those that we've wronged. This week's Torah portion, Vayigash, revolves around the idea of forgiveness and reconciliation. You know, sort of like, should old acquaintance be forgot? In this case, the acquaintance are Joseph and his brothers. This portion brings to a close the Joseph story. Joseph has come a long way since his brothers, some of whom were so jealous to the degree for which their father loved him that they wanted to kill him, instead threw him in a pit. They were persuaded by others, other brothers, to sell him to slave traders instead. How far Joseph came. His is a story of heroism, forgiveness, and redemption. According to Dr. Ned Hollowell, a psychiatrist, forgiveness has 4 steps. Pain and hurt. The first step to forgiveness is acknowledging what happened. Joseph has grown from a boastful boy who enraged his brothers into the second most powerful man in Egypt. He still dreams and interprets those dreams. But along the way, he has used those interpretations for good and has come to realize what he did to his brothers, which ultimately changed all of their lives and devastated their father Jacob. By realizing this, Joseph has matured. The next stage is reliving and reflecting. Remember that forgiveness is not in the service of condoning. It's a service to yourself. Free yourself from the poison of hatred. Certainly, throughout his experiences as a slave and being thrown into a dungeon, even though it turned out well for him, Joseph could have been overcome with the poison of hatred. He wasn't ultimately, because he came to realize that those experiences formed his destiny, which placed him in a position to secure Egypt during the hard times, but more significantly for his story and his life's tale, put him in a position to rescue his brothers and his father from famine. Next, working it out. You can imagine vengeance, just don't act on it. Joseph could have taken revenge on his brothers for what they did to him. He chose not to do so. Yes, he played with his brothers and frightened them a bit by making Benjamin out to be a thief so that Benjamin would be held back when the brothers left to go get their father and their families. Joseph tested them because he could, but he certainly did not extract revenge for what they had done to him so many years before. And when he ultimately reveals himself to them, because Joseph knew they did not recognize him as their brother, all of their emotions were overwhelming, truly overwhelming on all parts. Finally, renounce your anger and resentment. Dr. Hollowell uses the word renounce because your resentful feelings may never permanently go away. According to Rabbi Karen Caden, quote, "Memory goes to the very foundation of our tradition. When we want to pay the highest honor to one who has died, we say, 'May her memory be for a blessing.' When we remember a person who has committed atrocities, we say, 'May his memory be blotted out.'" Actually, in ancient Egypt, they did a very similar kind of thing. When a new pharaoh came into power, immediately that pharaoh's tomb was started. Whenever a new ruler ascended the throne, that successor ruler, who may have had hatred or disdain for the predecessor, had that Pharaoh's tomb destroyed. In the story of Joseph, he forgave what was done to him by recognizing who he had become and what he could do with his power, but he never forgot. Vayigash, this week's Torah portion, means let us draw near. Rabbi Cheryl Peretz has described Joseph's actions as if Joseph was saying to his brothers, it's not about me, and it's not about all of you, but about the goodness and blessings of the life we've been given. As we draw near to 2023, that's a sentiment worth remembering. As we do so, inhale the future, exhale the past. Happy 2023 and Shabbat Shalom. I'd like to ask Megan Rhodes, representing our Board of Trustees, to come forward for a few announcements. By the way, I do have the ad here.
Shabbat services beautifully led this evening by Dr. Andy Pelletier and Janet Rogalski. Tuesday, January 3rd, 2023, Kol Zimra rehearsal will be in the social hall. Kiddush Club will be Friday, January 6th at 5 p.m., calling all tots and their families. Come sing and play. Stay for pizza and salad, $5 per family. Reservations by Wednesday, January 4th. Be sure to check your email on Wednesday for Temple Talk. Find the latest news of upcoming events and programs. Shabbat Shalom.
We continue with Elenu on page 586. Please rise.
לשמח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגול עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד ושמו אחד ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. We read on the top of page 591. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding, loved each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech, and may we never lift up our hand but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and peace. To lose someone you love is to alter your life forever. The pain stops, there are new people, but the gap never closes. This hole in your heart is the shape of the one you lost. No one else can fit it. Author unknown. We have a number of names for Yahrzeit tonight. We weren't able to be here last week, so we actually have 2 weeks worth of lists. For Friday, December 23rd, Irving Alloy, Marianne Balchon, Samuel J. Bamberger, Robert Barron, Charlotte A. Bellman, Rosemary Bramson, Mogens Ebstrup, Sylvia Ephraimson, Fanny H. Finkelstein, Ida Fishman, Harold Copeland Phlox, James Davis Franklin, William P. Galliard, Harry M. Gould, Priscilla Grohl, Mervyn A. Herman, Belle H. Hirsch, Marilyn Kalnitz-Hames, Marianne LaValle, Charlotte Leibowitz, Kayla Mannheim, Tilly Barbara Minnick, Evelyn Raff Nassauer, Louis A. Nathanson, Fanny Nathanson, Robert M. Pollock, Alfred Prager, Noel S. Romanoff, Sam Rubin, Irving N. Ruttinger, Henry H. Schrag, Robert Schoen, Jay Schiff, Pearl Simon, Julia Thal, Gertrude F. Zoller, and recent deaths for that week, Justine Sperling and Rena Mann. For this week, Keith Bellner, Sally Barkin Brooks, Honey Romanoff Feingold, Leonard Fishman, Laura H. Frank, Rosabelle Friedlander, Marilyn Goldstein, May Golkin, Jill Fleischer Green, Moses A. Hofstadt, Sam Castle, Mark L. Klaus, Joseph I. Kobacker, Erwin R. Miller, Bernard J. Miro, Beatrice K. Myers, Dr. Louis Raven, Hattie G. Rosengarten, Ann Dersher Shapiro, Nate Schulman, Pauline R. Singer, Dr. Edward Singer, Rose Stark, Rebecca Stern, Lawrence Tarloff, Henrietta Thal, Erna Weiss, Susan Wittenberg. And to those names, we add those with recent deaths, Marjorie Kramer and Daniel Webney. We rise together as one congregation to read the Kaddish, which you'll find on page 598. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, Elma divrei divrei, Chayachon u'mechon u'chaye dekol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uzma karim imru amen. Yehei shmei rabba mivarach le'olam olma amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitbarar v'yitroman v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yithale v'yithalal shemei dekurasha berechu. Le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata. Tush bechata v'nechamata. Amiram v'olma v'imru amen. Yehei shalom rabba min shemaya v'chayim. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom v'imramav hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. We think of them all fondly. Our closing song will be Ein Keloheinu on page 626.
Ein Keloheinu, ein Kadonenu, Adonenu, Michem Malkeinu, Michem Moshienu, Nodel Eloheinu, Nodel Adonenu, Nodel Malkeinu, Nodel Moshienu, Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu, Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Please join us in the hall for Kiddush and Motzi.